This is Matthew Hatchett, a.k.a. Hatch, and you are now listening to the One Bar and Lupikus Show.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupikus Show. I'm One Bar, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about some players that might surprisingly make the team in 2021. This is the time where everybody gets all revved up and excited when you start seeing all these little nuggets coming out of OTAs that may or may not mean jack crap. But there's some names out there that could surprise some people, make the team. We're going to talk about three guys in this episode. As always, let me know in the comments below who's the guy that you think might surprise and make this team that will just be like, holy shit, the Dan Chisena of 2021. Who's going to be that guy for the upcoming season? Remember, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Let's do this. Number one, surprise player to make the team, Blake Lynch, linebacker Blake Lynch. And he was out there last year, so this might not be a huge surprise, but the Vikings definitely added some talent at linebacker this season, which is going to make Blake Lynch's journey to make this squad a little bit harder. Nick Vigil, Chaz Surratt, we got Troy Dye coming back. We got a healthy Anthony Barr coming back. My guy, Tuff Borland, who probably has a very, very small chance of making the team, of course, is going to be pushing for that spot. Probably not, but Blake Lynch. Let's talk about Blake Lynch. Why could he make this team? He was in the final cuts last year. I believe they brought him back to the practice squad. And then, yes, every single linebacker in our team got hurt. So he actually got a chance to get out there, which he started one game, played in 4. The one game he started, he had 10 tackles and was all over the place. Blake Lynch, his big thing is athletic. The guy played 5 positions in college, including wide receiver. Was it running back, safety, linebacker, defensive line? He was all over the place. Athletic, raw guy, a guy that Zimmer just absolutely drools over. And I think a big reason why they might actually make this squad is not only because of what he showed last year, but could he be the heir apparent to Anthony Barr? Yeah, it's a big leap. It's a big leap from barely making the team to also being your starting linebacker, but he could fill in there possibly next year if he comes in, gets a little less rough around the edges. He's got that athletic ability, and he can do it all. He had one season in college where he actually just played linebacker, and even that season he was split between linebacker and safety too. So he's got a long way to go to learn the position, got a long way to go, but it might be in their plans to possibly be the heir apparent to Anthony Barr on that outside spot. So we will see. We have seen what they've done with undrafted linebackers in the past, a la Eric Wilson. So maybe Blake Lynch is that next guy up. So I see him as a dark horse making this team. Next guy up, offensive side of the ball, offensive lineman Blake Brandle. Another guy can play multiple spots. An OTA rookies this year. They had his ass at center. That was probably because of lack of other players that could put there, but just the fact that they threw him there, they know he can kind of do it all. He was right tackle, left tackle in college. In the NFL, he's looked at as possible guard / tackle tweener. When Darrisaw was out, he was out there with the 2s. So he's right in the mix. I mean, obviously his competition is going to be the Oli Udos and guys like that. But in college, Oregon State, he graded out fantastic. Whether you like PFF grades or not, he was a 93 pass blocker. His senior year, he was a 90 overall. Started 48 consecutive games. Second all-pack team. And one little nugget, his idol is Jake Long. So that means nothing, but it also reminded me that Jake Long, I forgot he was a Vikings for about 8 minutes. Jake Long was actually a Viking. So Blake Brandle, the reason why I think he could make this team is really lack of depth, it's just gross. We all know this. We got a new offensive line coming up top with Wyatt Davis, Ezra Cleveland going to the right side, Christian Darrisaw. But the Oli Udos, the Kyle Hintons, the Drew Samias, they've been around a couple years. Maybe it's time to change things up. Maybe it's time to go with maybe a guy like Blake Brandle, who doesn't have the highest ceiling, but has that like Brett Jones type of feel to him where, yeah, if he has to play in a pinch, maybe he'll do all right, opposed to waiting for these other guys to develop. So that's my thinking behind Blake Brandle. And the third and final guy is, if you've been watching any of our shows, you know I love me some Whop Phillier. Whop Phillier, the receiver, undrafted free agent this year, 5'10", 184. His big knock is, yes, he's small, but he is a tough dude. He's not coming out of college, but he needs to refine his route running skills, and his hands are okay, it sounds like. But when he gets the ball in his hands, he can do some damage. And this is the time. This is the year if you're a guy at the bottom of a depth chart for the Vikings at wide receiver, this is the year to do it, because right now we have Thielen, Jefferson, BC, Chad Beebe. Yeah, they're probably all going to make the team. But Dan Chisena and KJ Osborne, guys who made the team last year, I wouldn't be feeling too excited if I were them. So this is a chance to sneak in there. Smith Marset, chances are he's probably definitely going to make this team, but that still leaves one spot open for guys like Blake Prohl, Whop Phillier, Myron Mitchell. So Whop Phillier brings a different element to our receiving core, where he's the kind of the gadget guy, a guy that you could have a little bit of fun with, and possibly maybe even use him in the return game. And yeah, Whop Phillier is my man, and his nickname is because he likes Whoppers. So if that doesn't make you want him to make this team, nothing will. So those are my guys: Whop Phillier, Blake Brandle, Blake Lynch. Let me know who are your dark horses, who a guy that could possibly actually make this team that gets you excited.